When you go to the gym and work out, as you start running through sets, should you train to failure, or is it damaging to your body? Does it gain you more muscle than if you were to train normally? Training to failure, if you weren't already aware, is where you keep performing reps until it becomes seemingly impossible to get another rep out to good form, really testing your limits. Recently, I asked some of you guys on a community post whether you train to failure or not, and half of you said you do, and half of you said you don't. So what's the correct answer? Should you all do it, or should none of you do it? What are the benefits and drawbacks of training to failure? Training to failure can increase muscle growth by causing muscle damage and metabolic stress. This damage and stress that you've put on your muscles triggers their repair process and causes muscle fibers to grow back stronger and thicker than they were before. When focusing on muscle growth, it shouldn't be a huge surprise to hear that for muscle growth to occur, your muscles need to be challenged consistently, and working out to failure is a great way to do that. By pushing your muscles to the limits and upping the weight using progressive overloads, you force your muscles to adapt and grow to handle the increased demand that you are placing on them. However, it's important to keep in mind that training to failure is very energy taxing on your muscle and should be used with caution, as it can come with a risk of injury and can often cause overtraining. So how can you go about working to failure in your next session? There are a few different ways that you can approach it. Firstly, you can go through the process of completing as many reps as possible of a given exercise with relatively low weight, stopping when you can no longer perform a rep to good form. This is often known as repetition max training. Secondly is where you use a weight that's heavy enough to challenge you to 6 to 10 reps, and you perform this set until you reach failure. Then you move the weight down and then you do the same on this set, and following this same process for 3 or 4 sets. This is known as drop sets, as you are progressively decreasing the weight used for each set of an exercise, and continuing to see how many reps you can do as the weight goes down. There is also a similar process called pyramid training, where you perform this the other way around, doing multiple sets of an exercise whilst putting the weight up and the reps down. Or thirdly, you can take more of a strength focused approach to it, and using a heavier weight that you can only do a few reps of. In this case, you would probably perform around 1 to 4 reps, rest for a short period of time, then perform another set doing the same weight, getting some assistance if needed. Training to failure is a very beneficial technique to get a load of progress very quickly. It can lead to fast increases in strength, muscle activation, muscular endurance, and muscle hypertrophy. So I'd highly advise that you fit it somewhere in your training. However, when implementing training to failure, it's always good to remember that you shouldn't be doing this on every single set in your session, as it can be very demanding on your body and your muscle. It can be very easy to overtrain yourself or let your form slip while using this technique, as bad form plus training to failure can very often equal injuries. Despite this though, I definitely advise that you fit it somewhere within your training, as it could be a step that massively transforms your body and your PRs over the rest of this year. To see other easy but very effective tips on how to make even more progress this year, why don't you watch this video right here and subscribe.